So in our previous video, we have showed that how you can perform the port scanning and the enumeration, the black box and the black box penetration testing. Okay, as a junior pen tester. So here our next task is that we need to identify the target, that Microsoft, that FTP server. Okay, so for that one, let's start with our previous task. So this is our IP address. So what you need to do that we need to perform that nmap scan, okay, the service version detection and also the script scan as well, and we will specify the port 21 and then the IP address. Okay, so from here we can see that that version is a Microsoft FTP BD, right? So in this lab, we are going to target the FTP server. So as a result, that we can, that's why we have limit our scan only from port 21 and the port 80. Okay. So the reason we are also performing an nmap scan on the web server is because in most cases, the FTP server is used to transfer files to and from the directory of the web server. Okay, so as a result, if we are able to gain access to the FTP server, we may be able to access the directory of the Microsoft IIS web server as well. Okay, so that is why we perform this scan. Okay, so let's say I want to add port 80 as well. Okay, so here after this scan we will be able to identify all these things. Okay, so this is the web server. So now what you need to do that and in the FTP server, most of the cases anonymous access to the FTP server may be enabled. Okay, so therefore it is allowing us to log into the FTP server without providing any legitimate credentials. Okay, this can be done by the following commands. I am going to show you the commands. Okay, so at first you need to type FTP, then the IP address, and then you also need to mention the port number. Okay, so let's see that if anonymous login is enabled or not. Okay, the login failed. Okay, so in this case it looks like that FTP server does not allow anonymous logons. Okay, so as a result we will need to explore the other techniques of exploiting the FTP server. Okay, so the anonymous login is not enabled, so what you have to do that you have to exit and find other ways to get the details. Okay, so what you can do that there are you can go for the FTP brute force. There are two techniques. Either you can use Hydra or you can go for the MSF console, okay, which is a metasploit. Okay, so in here we are going to use the Hydra. Okay, so Hydra and L, this is for the user share, and we need to find the word list as well, the metasploit framework. Metasploit .txt, and then this is for password. Okay, user share word list metasploit Unix password. Okay, So after that, I need to give the IP address, and then I also need to mention FTP. Okay, so this is your Hydra command, and this is for the user ID, and this is for the passwords. This is your target IP address, and this is for the FTP. Okay, let's press enter. We need to wait for a couple of minutes in here. What it will do that it's gonna show you the user ID and the password of the FTP. Okay, so I need to wait for a minute to finish the scan. It's gonna take a couple of minutes to complete the scan process. Okay, so see here we have identified the login credentials, that is administrator and the vagrant. Okay, and we need to we need to give few more minutes. I need to identify whether is there any other login user ID and the password as well. Okay, so in here what we can do that we can log into this FTP. Okay, see now we have logged in to the administrator account by using the password vagrant. So let's see what we can find. If we press ls, then you can find this sort of information. Okay, so in this case the authentication is successful, and as a result we are able to view the content of the FTP directory, which is in this case happens to be the directory of the Microsoft IIS web server. Okay, this means that we can make changes to the web app being hosted on the Microsoft IIS. Okay, but we can do that in here. There are a couple of ways what we can do that. If you can log into that, you can open your shell folder, and then you can go to the web server as well, and then you can type that okay, your web server is hacked right now. So which is not a task for the Pentester. Okay, so your task is to identify the loophole in the system. If you have identified, then you just need to report this one to the company, right? Okay, so that's how you're going to perform this scan.